50 what, meg?
Yeah, most of the day I get 50. I'm on broadband because
dude, 1998 called. They want their internet connection.
I know.
Back.
Well, it's because like the whole city of Loveland is supposed to have fiber by I think the end of 2022. So I know I'll have it, roughly in a year. But I'm on a rocky hill in Loveland, which is pretty much flat, and so like they don't want to do my area probably till very last because they can do the rest of the city quickly. Yeah. And so I've got 50, which is just okay. I mean, most places are like, oh, we can get you 25. I'm like, no, I don't want 25. I want 50. And most of the day I get 50. It's just that this time right now, which is roughly 6 o'clock to about 9 o'clock, where everybody gets home and starts using stuff, that it starts to drop to like 30 and 25, and I'm like, argh.
Yikes.
So welcome
to the internet.
So welcome officially to the Ramblecast.
Yes, welcome.
After dark.
Evening.
No song tonight. I'm sure some of you are crushed, but yeah, all my crap's still boxed up. And
if you're joining us live, though, you're enjoying Nick's new view behind him. If you've watched us before and you're like, oh, I just wish Nick would change up his background. Well, here's your chance.
He did.
Yeah, I know.
Congratulations, man.
Thanks. Like, I'm curious, like, when I get kind of how I want, because over here's my window behind me.
Oh,
if I can get like
daylight.
If I can get a little green screen behind me here, and then that's because this here's so like there's the office.
Nice.
And so
just full of Wendy's cups and beer.
Just the one, yeah. Glad you noticed that, yeah. Priorities, man.
We can all cuddle up with some green screen.
And I actually felt sad because like usually I walk down to the brewery that's next to my house and I get the big can, for the show, and then tonight I didn't get to do that, so I'm just drinking the old Budweiser.
The old Bud Heavies.
Mm-hmm. And I need to get I've got a little lamp here to give me some light because this room does not have a natural like built-in light, so I've got to get a lamp to put here so I can have some light. Anyhow.
Well, it's been a week, man.
Yeah.
I fucking reverted to my like 20s and early 30s this past week.
Yeah, that's right. You've been there, man. You've been
yeah. Right? So this is a fucking. I've been waiting to tell this story on the show because it cracks me up every time I retell it. So on Friday. Well, first of all, last week I had the worst case of allergies I've ever had in my 41 years of existence, and we lost
Matt apparently. Wasn't my internet.
Well, I'll continue the story because the show must go on. There he is. Nice. Follow me on Twitter, Crackpot Matt. So, anyways, I'll continue on the story. So last week I was battling like some really severe allergies. Like a little bit of a head cold, that wonderful gifts of giving that you get from daycare, And then on Friday, I was like, fuck it. I'm going to have a good time. We're going to have a blast. So the original plan that we had was that we were going to go to Sebago Lake. My buddy's got a cabin on the lake up in the middle of just about 45 minutes northwest of Portland, Maine, on Sebago Lake. And we were going to go up there Thursday night and then stay through till Monday. That was the original plan. And we completely forgot that we actually had tickets to go see Dave Matthews at the venue, which is south of me in Mansfield, Mass, other direction of Maine. And we're like, fuck it, we're going to go. Anyway, so my buddy Dave, who has the cabin's like, it's no big deal. Like, I'll drive us, I'll be the designated driver. We'll drive to Maine after the concert, which is, it's a good 2.5 hour ride, 3 hour ride at the end of a concert, which is kind of a big deal, right? Yeah. It's like, hey man, if you're down with it, I'm down to ride. No big deal. So, yeah. So I packed up the car. We went and got the beers and all this stuff, and we picked up a couple of people that were bringing to the tailgate, and we get there. And the first thing I do when I get to the tailgate is I unpack everything and I smoke a joint. I got really high really quickly. And
really? What's that like?
So I put my phone in the cup holder of my camping chair and next to the car. We're just all hanging out. Now, mind you, there was like a hurricane that came up the East Coast and had somewhat of an impact in this area.
Tell us the story about the hurricane.
Yeah,
sorry. Go ahead.
And so everyone was getting those messages like the hurricane warning, the inclement weather warnings that pop up, the emergency broadcasts of some of your phones. Everyone's phones are going all haywire. The alarm's going off, and there's all these warnings and shit. So we're like, fuck it, whatever. And I heard mine go off too. Meanwhile, I'm super high. And I look over my phones. I heard the alarm for the inclement weather popping up. And I was like, fucking whatever. Enough of this. And I look over. I go, oh, shit. My phone was not giving me the warning that there was a hurricane coming. My phone was giving me the warning that it was calling fucking 911.
Oh, shit.
Because I had it wedged in the cup holder of the camping chair, and the buttons got pushed together, and that's what happens.
Yep.
So here I am, high out of my mind.
Was it like
calling
cancel
the
in
police?
3, 2?
What's that? Like, yeah, no, it was too late. It was too late at that point. It already called.
It does give you, because they will say like cancel this in.
Well, I thought it was the hurricane warning, but it wasn't. It was me calling the local authorities on myself. So they called back immediately, and I answered the phone. I'm like, oh my gosh, guys, I'm so sorry. My phone was wedged in my chair, and it called. So the buttons are pushed, this, that, and the other. And she's like, no, it's okay. It happens more than you think. But I do have to ask you some questions. And I was like, oh, fuck. I can't even keep my...
Are you being held against your will right now?
Yeah, no, it was all that stuff, man. Like, how are you? What's going on? Where are you? They kind of... And she's like,
just imagine
what parking lot are you? I'm like, I'm in the premium parking lot, whatever it was. She's like, what row are you in? I'm like, I don't know. There's no rows. It's just parking spots. I'm sitting there. I can't put it together. And she's like, okay, fine. She's like, we might send a police officer over to talk to you just to make sure you're all set. So the remainder of my tailgate, I'm sitting there freaking out, right? Because I'm like high as a motherfucker. Because I just called the cops on myself. Anyways, we get into the concert. The concert was so much fun. I had a blast. The music was great. It was so good to be back in a venue with live music. And when I get in there, I realize they sell 24-ounce cans of beer.
Nice. For $24.
$14. So I was drinking High Life, dude. I was drinking 24-ounce High Lifes. So when you go to a concert, you go to any sporting event or venue, and you can buy beers. It's the beer maximum is 2, but in our books, it's also the minimum. So you don't go and buy beer. You buy 2 beers. You got 2 hands. So much so that I got split up from Amanda, my wife, when we first got in there. I went and I got 2 beers. I'm like, here you go, hon. I got you one. She goes, don't you want 2? I was like, I love you. She gets in line, gets her own beers, whatever. So fast forward to the concert, which was fantastic. It was so good to be amongst our people, right? Our concert-going friends and having a blast. And I got pretty tuned up, with those 24-ounce beers. So by the time the concert was over, I was pretty much ready to rock, And then that's when the night gets a little bit hazy, where I don't remember things. Well, I remember getting out of the concert and getting to the parking lot, but that's about my limit of memory.
Were you hurt?
No. But the next thing I know, I open up my eyes. It's 4:30 in the morning, and I'm fucking Lake Sebago in Maine. Like, how did I get here? Where am I? And they're like, you literally just knocked out for 4 hours. Everyone's all mad at me because no one got sleep, but except for me. I was ready. I woke up. I was ready to rock. Up in 4:00 in the morning in backwoods Maine, And then we spent the rest of the weekend up in Maine, and it was gorgeous. We had one day, really nice day of weather, and then the remnants of the tropical storm came through. But it was nice to get up there and to hang out without kids and just relax. Go on my buddy's boat and did all that stuff, and just had a grand old time. So it was my moment of reset, and just kind of now I'm back to reality. I've been back at work for a couple of days, and it sucks, but. About a week and a half's time, I'll be going out to Seattle though to go to the gorge and do it all over again.
Right.
Sherry in the chat wants to know: is that where you buried Jack in the woods in Maine?
Oh, is that right? Yeah, I don't even know.
Well, sorry, Sherry. Like, it's kind of in the world that we live in right now. We know that Jack got banned from Twitter for threatening.
Yeah, StreamYard's on his case now.
So StreamYard now has banned, as well as the Jay and Jack network can no longer in confidence allow Jack
loose cannon.
Yeah,
is what we
more of a liability than anything else at this point.
It's not us. This just got passed down. It's weird that the note would come directly from his son too. Like
right.
And then of course,
I think there was an intervention that took place in Raleigh.
And yes, Will in the chat, there was 24-ounce canned beers consumed. So,
that's why I was drinking High Life. High Life was $14 a can.
But he's showing here, like in Nashville, a 24-ounce can is $25, and that's why I guess that's because it's ridiculous what they charge. It's like, geez.
And this day and age,
it was awesome either way.
Yeah. I know, like there's some kind of, it's not the Van Gogh Interactive. It's another one coming to Denver in October. I hear it's in late September and October, and it's more like a walk through art exhibit, but it's all like psychedelic and stuff. And
it's Van Gogh, right?
No, not the Van Gogh, because I want to go to that one too. But there's another one.
My daughter going to that.
There's a couple different Van Gogh exhibits going around, and they're all a little different because different companies put them on. So I just recently saw the one that's in Indianapolis.
Immersive art experience.
Called The Loom. So
The Loom?
The Loom. So it was a lot of fun. I mean, it's an odd thing because I'm friends with a lot of different artists. And I think I told Nick this off the podcast, so I'll just say it on the podcast. Like all my artist friends, like when I go onto social media, my Facebook was just blowing up with people just shitting on the Loom. They just absolutely hate it. It's a travesty to art. It's an affront to like everything that we hold holy, and it disrupted the entire museum. So it's kind of funny, because my wife really wanted to go to it, and I was curious, and so we went and we enjoyed it. The kids had a good time. So I'm still kind of like, like it wasn't quite an affront to art, but I understand their feelings on the fact that it's not the real thing. So it's just basically kind of like a glorified version of the paintings. Yeah. But the experience that as it is, and to be a lover of art doesn't take away from like my enjoyment of that, I should say.
Exactly.
So, and the best thing to buy was not in the gift shop. I actually was at my local Costco, and they had a whole book called The Complete Paintings of Van Gogh. And that book probably cost us less than the tickets. Yeah. This one's blue. I'll have to go upstairs and but
there's one I came close to buying. It's the same. It's a big, thick book.
It's a monster. The experience of going through that book page for page and reading about him, or even just kind of experiencing the paintings that way, to me is just as impressive. I mean, but it is a cool experience to see an entire room filled with his brushstrokes, life's like bigger than life,
That's pretty rad.
I don't know if you've ever seen Starry Night, but it is a very small painting.
Very small.
It's behind glass, so you get all of this reflections and you don't get pure color. Yeah. And so it's actually a harder painting to experience in the flesh. Like you just don't.
I never understood that. I get like behind the glass and all that, but I've never understood people that go to art galleries to take pictures. Like when I was in it's in Paris,
because you should just buy the postcard because it's a better thing.
That's what I mean. Like you go look at the Mona Lisa, and there's tons of people surrounding it, all with their iPhones out taking pictures of it. It's like, Jesus Christ, get a postcard or something, and you'll see it way better. It's like, It's like you'll just stare at it for a little while with your own eyes and take it in, and then leave. Like that's, you don't need anything else from that experience. And then what was I going to say about, no.
You had more to say about the
about the Van Gogh. Yeah, like to me, like I get what your friends are saying, because I can be that way about music. When it's like, well, that's just a rip off of this and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
But then I often think, you know what? I'm being snobbish here, because it's like, how many times have you watched a movie and a song comes over on the movie and you've never heard it, and you're like, damn, that's a good song, and then it opens up an entire catalog of an artist you've never heard of. And that's kind of how I think about this immersive thing. It's like someone might not be into art whatsoever, but they go to this and they get a whole new appreciation for Van Gogh, and it could lead into other things, And so that's kind of how I think about art. And don't judge it, because there's someone out there who doesn't know shit right now who might know a lot.
He might be inspired by it.
Right.
Well, and I think, I mean, there is definitely that. Like you do have to kind of turn on a lot of people to it, so that somebody can go deeper, and so anyway, I had a good experience, and if I can pass on my knowledge, because putting me in an art museum, I'm just going to be like, and this and this and this and this, and so
this is on dolphin paper. It's not dolphin paper.
No, but just talking about like post-impressionists too, and going into like the history of stuff.
Man, and honestly, like the way I can only imagine the way you feel and how you experience like an art exhibit or an art museum is much akin to how I feel when I walk into a concert venue or whatever. So it's just so good to have that part of the stuff that we enjoy, relatively back, I guess you could say. Will in the chat actually mentioned he's going to his first concert since COVID started in just a few weeks, and he can't wait. Yeah, this was my first concert. I did see Bill Burr the week prior, which is a comedy event, which is a little bit different, but getting in and being there for the performance and feeling the energy from everybody else it's something else, man. Like I've missed it so much. And it's interesting too, because I mistakenly reactivated my Facebook page because I had to log back into Facebook Messenger. So I went on for like a hot second, and it was like my last post was, I believe, from like a year ago this month, and it was saying, "Hi, my name is Chris, and I miss live music." And I can't tell you how much I really fucking missed live music. And now I'm going to be going on a, COVID permitting, going on a little bit of a concert bender over the next few months. So next week on Thursday, a week from tomorrow, I think, flying out to Seattle. I'm going to be going out there to the Gorge for a few days to see even more Dave Matthews. I'm going to see Dave Matthews 4 times in 2 weeks.
You're going out to Seattle to the Gorge?
Yeah, the Gorge Amphitheater.
Oh, okay.
It's an outdoor venue. It's huge.
It's an outdoor, beautiful. I mean, I've only seen in pictures and through other people's accounts, but by all means, it looks unbelievable. So it's an outdoor amphitheater that overlooks this huge gorge, like canyon, which I'm super excited for. And then I'm going to go see, seen a lot of concerts. Seeing Dispatch. I'm going to see them up in Maine, and then I'm going to go see Phil Collins in Genesis in December, and then I'm going to go see John Mayer on his tour in Boston. I'm not going to see the Dead and Company this year because they're coming to the venue I was just at on Friday. They're coming there the weekend I'll be in Seattle. So
I don't know what I'm doing there.
Yeah, that was weird.
Look at armpit itch.
I was kind of doing like my guitar, like
Yeah.
Speaking
of armpit itch, update from last week. Got my native deodorant. Used it for the first time today, and I'm pleased.
Good. Like I say, like it's not going to keep you dry all day, but it's nice.
Did a good job today. I mean,
good.
That's all dry.
Yeah, well, good.
And I smell like orange musk.
I've used that one. That's a good one. Yeah.
Nice.
There's another one that you would not think would smell good, but it does, which is like the cucumber and.
Oh, I'm in, dude. I love cucumbers.
It's like cucumber and mint or something, and that's one of my favorite ones. It's like
all right.
Smell to it.
Gonna have to get a subscription.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're back. We're back for concerts and live stuff and all that. It's never felt better. So I'm super pumped. Hopefully those are listening to get off to go to their your concerts or your art exhibits or whatever you can do while you're vaccinated.
Yeah, speaking of concerts and just artists in general, I'm sure you guys saw where Charlie Watts died.
Oh,
and it's just like, my first comment was like, well, shit, it's a miracle all of them have lived this long.
Yeah, how did he die first? Is that
the most straight laced of all of them?
I know.
Is the one that goes first. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Not first, because Brian Jones died first.
Matt, you're about to say something before we get into Charlie Watts.
Oh, I just want to let everybody in the chat know. I can't comment right now, so I'm not able to answer some of your questions. So
that's why you were logging out.
Yeah, I kept popping out and popping back in because every now and then when I do StreamYard like this, it locks me out where I it's like it doesn't register me, even though it does register.
Thinks you're Jack.
So, yeah, exactly, because I put that crackpot in that. And speaking of Jack, where is Jack?
Yeah, he's running a little wee bit behind tonight.
This is the latest he's been in a while.
I know. So maybe he's too good for us now that he went all Corolla on us, So
he's all famous now. That's what it is. It's just like, I got to make my grand entrance now.
Oh, guys,
I show up for 15 minutes an episode now because I'm A-list, in the podcasting world.
See, I do that in the front end. I skip out on the end, and I don't hang around afterwards.
No shit.
Yeah, but hey, I'm always transparent. You know what you're going to get, so then you know what to expect.
Mm-hmm. I'm the wild card.
Yeah, the Charlie Watts though. What a shame, man. The human metronome himself. I learned of a really funny story that apparently is a very well known story about him that I wasn't aware of until someone shared it after he passed. But it was a time. Yeah, when Mick Jagger called up to his room and said, "Where's my drummer?" So he then takes a shower, gets a clean shave, puts on a fresh suit, goes down to Mick Jagger's room. Mick Jagger opens a door and he fucking punches him in the face. Says, "Don't ever call me your fucking drummer. You're my singer." I love it.
Well, he'd have to be that way to hang with those guys. Just some kind of I'm not a pushover.
Oh, and Matt in the chat says he was married to the same woman for 57 years. Well done.
I don't like to think that he's gone, that he's just sitting this one out. Like he's gonna pick up time again.
That's what was sad is that
never missed a beat.
Because the Stones are going on a limited tour this year for their 60th anniversary of being a band, and Charlie was not going to be on this tour. He said, he goes, I'm just feeling a little under the weather. I'll be on the next one. And so and it's just sad. It's like, oh well, shit, But
Will was saying he's got tickets for his Stones on October 9th. It's the only concert he didn't get a refund for in 2020. Figured it'd be an unannounced final tour. I thought that before yesterday. Well. Also, that John sucks birthday, for one, but two, that you save that fucking ticket like that. You get, maybe it is the day of digital tickets, so you're probably not going to get one. But I would frame it if you got a hard ticket.
It's just like a printed out, like that's really shitty print out from the computer.
Whatever, inkjet printers.
Well, there you have it. Well, this was a good show.
Sometimes that really pisses me off, like. When it's just when it goes to
go ahead.
It's just like, oh, you can have the ticket on your phone now, and then that's all you get. Like, no, I want an actual physical ticket because I've always kept them since I was a little kid, and that's the only option you have, especially with Ticketmaster. And it's like, oh, it'll just be sent directly to your phone, and that's it. And you're like, well, fuck, like I can't do anything with this shit.
Yeah,
I just keep them now. I just have them like a list on my phone. Like, there we go.
Yeah. Anywho. So I did something this.
Did you go poop in the potty?
Did
a couple times, yeah.
I don't know where that came from.
That was weird, but last week I think it was Thursday or Friday.
You took a shit.
I finally pulled the trigger on the potty. No, dude, I'm not going the shit route with this. This is weird, but I mean, you can keep it going if you want to. I mean, yeah, I did take a shit on Friday. I mean, that's not what I was referring to. I pulled the trigger on going solar
nice.
for my house. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, not shit, you fucking sicko. So I have been comparing many different solar quotes from weird, dude. Really fucking weird tonight. Like the vibe is off, man. Like something's going on with you, dude. I mean, the solar story can take a back burner for a second if you need to talk about something.
His edibles kicked in right now, and
did you eat edible already?
You, Nick.
See,
holy shit,
he was perfectly
dude,
normal.
Blazed. Well done. All right, cool. Mine don't work that fast.
I'd like to think that it's because of crackpot Matt tonight.
Maybe you're just high as a kite.
No.
So, anyways,
okay. It's a lot of things, but go ahead. Solar power.
So I went pull the trigger solar.
New album.
I did a lot of comparing and contrasting between local installers and local companies, and then of course Tesla power. Tesla came in about $8,000 to $10,000 less than everybody else.
Yeah.
So I did it, man. I ordered it. I got my plan. I got my approval from. Did a 10-year loan. This is gonna sound like a goddamn commercial, but I don't care. So the whole setup with
the perfect time
for a commercial.
Yeah, let's do it.
What?
Perfect.
He didn't even finish his story.
This episode of Ramblecast After Dark is brought to you by 5 to 10 milligrams of Matt's gummies.
Yes. I would say 15
that's
to
not
20.
true.
Yeah. So anyways, so I did the whole process, and it was actually quite flawless. So I mean, you pay $100 deposit, and then what happens is they this is how they save money, right? They don't have people coming out to the house and doing all the surveys and stuff out front. You take a picture of everything. Take a picture of your fuse box, your power module outside the house, the roof, this, that, and the other, and they analyze it all. They use the 3D mapping technology from satellite imagery to look at your roof and the whole nine. Long story short, I'm getting 20 panels on my roof and a power wall for my basement, just the battery power backup. So that whole thing
stores the energy too.
Yeah. So check this out, right? So the numbers are going to be kind of like, ooh, fuck at first, but then once you kind of realize what it looks like after the fact, it's like unbelievably affordable. So the whole project is going to cost roughly $26,000, but there's a $7,400 federal tax credit.
Right.
Massachusetts has an additional $1,000 tax credit. Then there's a tax credit for like $4,000 for having the smart storage, being the battery, and then
$14,000.
Smart solar incentive, and another $2,300. And then they have a thing called connected solutions, which is what you're mentioning, Matt. So when you have like a smart battery home for your house with solar, National Grid is my electric provider in the Northeast here. And what you can do is you can
Electric.
Nope. National Grid.
National Grid. It's a European. It's an English company that's also.
I was just trying to sing a song. Go ahead with your story.
Yeah, dude, I can only imagine the songs are in your head right now. But so what happens is during the summer months, you can, if you're opting into this program, National Grid will ping all of its customers that are enrolled and pull power from everyone's batteries as needed during the high demand months and pay you for it.
Yeah.
And in the winter months, it's less frequent because everyone's dependent on oil and gas for heat so much up here. But you get paid back in your bill.
And the sun's not as strong either, so you don't capture as much.
Right. So the net cost of the whole system is $10,600 over 10 years.
That's all over 10 years. Yeah. So $1,000.
Yeah, over 10 years.
Bad.
Over 10 years at 2.99. Right. So my electric bill is $183 on average per month.
Okay.
That will be effectively reduced to nothing because the system will be 113% of my energy utilization.
But you're still paying for the system, though.
Correct. But my monthly payment for the system after all the incentives, and it's an amortized loan, meaning I can take all the rebates and put it onto the principal and reduce the monthly payments. My monthly payments will be between $110 and $125 a month.
Nice.
So effectively, I'm paying less at the end of the day than I would if I didn't do it.
I'm considering doing the same thing, not in the next couple of years, but at some point. is I already have 2 panels right now on my roof for the on-demand water. And I asked the previous owner why he never did electric, and he said just because at this point, it would have taken him 20 years to pay it off. So it's like, but now as it's getting cheaper, it's like, oh, well, I'll think about it, as it keeps going. But I remember in California, because California is always a different state than everyone else. The Tesla one was the one that everyone was getting because the Tesla one was the only one that California allowed for you to actually cut from the actual grid. So if you wanted to be completely self-sufficient on the Tesla, you could. And then connect it once again, back to the grid. Whereas in all the other providers who are all subsidized in California, you have to always be connected to the grid,
right?
And they still charge you a monthly to be connected.
Access fee,
yeah. And so it's like, and so everyone that had the means would go Tesla.
Yeah, and what's crazy is that the Tesla ones across the board of all the quotes I got were significantly less, and there was some attractive pricing, but none of the pricing from the mom and pop shops included a battery. It was like you can add the battery because the batteries are not cheap, dude. The battery is like $10,000 to $12,000 by itself, but Tesla now requires you to get the battery if you get solar through them. It's not like you cannot get it. And to make it easier, they add all these crazy incentives for the bundling and this and the other. And then you topple that with, like in Massachusetts, there's a ton of rebates and incentives if you have a battery, if you have solar, if you do this, and if you sell power back. It's just right now, it's not going to get any better. It's only going to get worse as the years go on and more people decide to start doing it because the incentives are so high right now. But yeah, if anybody has any questions about it, send us an email. I'll be happy to respond, personally if you want any questions answered. I'm still going through the process, but the whole thing's going to take probably I'm not going to listen to you though, but the whole process is going to take probably about two and a half months before it's going to get fully installed. But
we have this
I'm excited
email from Matt.
Matt's over going like, man, you're catching stuff from the sun, man, and the sun is like millions of miles away, and it comes all the way down, and like Chris is catching it, man. Chris is just catching it, and it's just like that's my power, man. That's my vibes. That's my vibes.
When have I ever sounded like that?
That's what
5 minutes ago.
That's not what I sound like.
But here's my whole idea on the whole thing, man. Like it's like by 2030, Chevy, GM, Ford, they've all committed that they're not going to be producing any more gasoline powered cars after 2030, and I can only imagine that's a lot of other car manufacturers are going to follow suit. And let's be real, in 10 to 15 years from now, we're all going to be driving electric vehicles, and what better way than to try and at least offset as much of that electricity as you possibly can, through renewable energy. So you're doing a solid for the environment, you're doing a solid for yourself. And as you can see, my monthly output in cash for my energy is going to be reduced by doing it. And then after 10 years, it's just going to be butter.
I've been saying that for a long time. It's like, I get that, it's good to be green. It's good, but like, people aren't always going to go. People make decisions with their wallets, and that's just the truth. And so when you have government saying like, "Oh, everyone has to be green, everyone has to be this," but yet it's more expensive to do that, people are going to say, "Well, fuck that, I'm not doing it." And to that point, like, oh, what you're saying, Chris, it's now $20 a month cheaper for me to go green than the other way.
It makes so much sense.
It makes sense.
The
it makes
space
sense.
where
you go, yeah,
cut
let's do
out
it.
Made perfect sense.
I don't know what y'all laughing
Yeah,
at.
your internet was cutting out, and you looked like a robot for a second there, but we got you back.
We knew exactly what you were saying.
Oh, and we just lost him again, I think. But the end game. I think not the end game, but I think that a lot of people need education on is yes, the sticker price is daunting, no doubt. Like it's a $26,000 loan that I'm gonna be originating, right? That's a lot of fucking money. But after all the incentives that are available now, that are going to be reduced over time, every year it gets a little bit less and less and less. Chevy just recalled 6 years worth of bolts. Yeah, you should recall yourself if you bought one. Jesus, it's a terrible car. But
yeah, I had seen that the other day.
But the thing is, like right now, it's so much more affordable than you think, right? The sticker price is a sticker shock, but the sticker price is not what you're going to pay at the end of the day. Sherry noticed your screen is occasionally freezing. Yeah, so in Nick's new move to his new beautiful palatial estate, the return of Nickernet has commenced, and he's currently on dial-up.
Not dial-up, but yeah, pretty much.
Pretty close.
I get like I just tested it again. Like I said,
he's over there running two
out there. I usually around 50 megabits, which is tragic.
Wait a minute. You can change our names?
Yeah, he's been doing this for years.
I don't approve of this message.
Yeah, you didn't do it. You didn't approve of it like last year when I did this.
I don't remember. I was probably high.
Yeah, that's why I put your name as Sailing High on Solar Wind.
Yeah.
For anybody that joins us live, you get to see these names. Sometimes we don't always, I think, describe what our names say, but we do change them from time to time.
So there it is.
I'm currently getting 12, so that's why.
12 megabits down.
12 megabits, yeah.
That's awful. That's like DSL.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. But supposedly
better than the Chevy Volt, apparently.
Yeah. So. Supposedly though, in the next few weeks, when the Best Buy guys finally come out to set up stuff, like they're going to get me like their own different kinds of routers, and they're like, "Oh yeah, like we're going to boost it all up." And I'm like, "Okay, we'll see."
Dude, don't let them sell you shit, man, because you can't. But you that's putting lipstick on a pig. Like
that's what I thought too. I was like,
if your throughput is 50 megabits, it doesn't give a goddamn what type of router you put in the house, because you're not. They're going to try and sell you on a Wi-Fi 6 router, which is amazing if you have today's standard internet.
Right.
But other than that, you don't need anything other than what the cable company is giving you. You don't have the throughput for it.
Yeah. Well, one of the good things about the guy who owned this, he put Ethernet cables throughout the entire house. And so right now I'm just working on the Wi-Fi. So I can, from where it comes in at, hook that up to and then maybe hook this up through Ethernet instead of doing Wi-Fi and be a little bit better. The
cabling in the house, do you know what cables are in?
I have no idea.
Is it a Cat 5 or Cat whatever?
I have no idea.
Well, you should check, because although the cabling might be there, you might be looking at an old standard in cable. So if and when you do get this century's internet provider, you're going to want to have at least a Cat 6 cable for the throughput you want. FYI.
Yeah, because to me it just seems like it'd be like, I don't know, adding a fire hose to like something that you're still getting the same amount of pressure. This is like not gonna, it's like a bigger hose isn't gonna do anything.
I just love that Miami Mike in the chat wrote his AOL up to 56K now. I still have the old, I love seeing a little walking man go by.
Yeah, it's got the Hayes compatible modem.
Great, yeah.
Half of the people listening are like, what the fuck are they talking about?
I look forward to getting that CD in every other month, so I can just get a little bit faster.
Every once in a while, his elbow bumps the handset of his house telephone and knocks him right off the internet. So did you guys, back in the day, when we were rocking the old dial-up modems, did you guys have a dedicated line for your modem, or did you have to share it with the house?
We got two. Well, originally in 92, we had one. And then I think in 94, we switched to having one just dedicated for the internet. Yeah. Okay.
In 92, you were an early adopter of the old interwebs. And apparently you still are.
Is he at McDonald's?
No,
I just got here.
No, McDonald's has got better. McDonald's has better throughput than Nick right now.
It's true. Nickernet is back, Jack. It's back.
Yeah, I was making a joke.
Jack, welcome. I think some of the people in the chat earlier on were wondering if you were looking for Manny's balls.
It was
I figured you'd know that joke.
Well, it wasn't really a joke, but it was. I said it, and I said, "Well, should I take it out?" fuck it. No one's going to pay attention. Well, John, these guys paid attention.
Well, but hey, some people might not realize, but we actually have some YouTube content creator brass over here with Crazy Hank TV was recently featured on the Adam Carolla show.
Crackpot Sports.
Oh, sorry, Crackpot Sports.
That's okay.
I'm a terrible promoter.
That's okay. But thanks for mentioning that. Yeah, it was pretty. I know a lot of people don't like him, but I know Matt listens to him every week. But
why would you think that I listen to him every week?
Don't you lean that way politically?
I have no idea about Adam Carolla's.
What's Adam Carolla's political like?
He's Republican.
I think he's Republican.
Is he?
Yeah. That's one of the reasons why him and
Dr. Drew,
Jimmy Kimmel fell out.
Oh, Jimmy Kimmel.
It's because Jimmy Kimmel was
Drew. I'm going back to 1992 with Adam Carolla and Jesus.
That's why they fell out. It's because Jimmy Kimmel was like far left and Adam Carolla was far right, and they just didn't work.
Well, I didn't care. I didn't drift apart. I mean, they do different things. I mean,
that's fine. But I mean, not married man. The what was the name of their show they had?
Oh, Man Show.
Man Show. Yeah, the Man Show was a big deal back in the day.
Yeah,
women on trampolines.
Yeah,
that's right. I remember listening on the radio. I remember listening on the radio to Love Line with he and Dr. Drew.
Oh yeah.
I remember listening.
I learned a lot about the birds and the bees as a youngin' from that show.
Yeah, for sure. So
he's dropping hairs on the floor, Chris.
Yeah, I don't know what that's from. It's weird. Is that my microphone thing?
Is that some ball hairs on the microphone?
Yeah,
brushing them off after last night's work.
Wow, did we bring back warm taffy? Is that what we
You showed up and look what happened.
I don't know. It's not my fault. I'm not.
But Jack, you missed a good 40 minutes of content there, bud.
I'm sorry. I was on another show and they were talking about Star Trek, and they just
really.
A lot of people.
Oh, we didn't. Wait.
So you go to sleep when me and Matt and sometimes Chris talk about Star Wars, but yet you can talk Star Trek and skip our show for Star Trek?
I was doing it to promote the other channel.
What
the one that wasn't on Adam Carolla's.
Oh,
I see. Let's see how it goes. All right. You're a busy man.
It was supposed to only last an hour, but they just kept going on. I'm like going,
Hey, we know what it's like.
We set our phasers to stun. You can't go anywhere.
Yeah, I seem to remember.
Yeah, the gummy kicked in. My jokes get funnier and funnier the higher I get.
What? I didn't
at least up here they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Hey, Jack.
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
How you been, man?
I'm good. Why?
No, I just
okay. I'm reading the names: Crackpot Matt, the new Jack.
Oh yeah, I created a new Twitter account, Crackpot Matt, since Crackpot Jack is off the air. So
still, fucking bastards. And I sent you guys a text, on Facebook. Bill Cosby has a Twitter account.
Bill Cosby has a Twitter account. I also pointed out though he does have a presidential award too.
Yeah, he's got. I mean, I
and
get
Grammy.
it, but he's got. We know he's a dick. How does he have a Twitter account? Irritates. I have another Twitter account, but I don't.
It's been what? You think Twitter police are listening to this right now?
I don't. I got banned.
You can reach me at Hot Crack Jack.
Hot Crack.
You absolutely should have Pot Crack Jack as your new alter ego.
Crack,
actually, what if I just
went
Butt Crack Jack? Butt Crack Jack.
People see enough of that as it is.
Yeah, that's true. It's what is that? I'm a plumber. It's a plumbing business.
That's really bad about plumbers, though.
Number one in the number two business.
Yeah. Why is that insulting to plumbers?
No. Most plumbers I know have a sense of humor and would not care about that. So it's true.
Or Miami Mike says Crock-Pot Jack for all your cooking recipes.
You know what? You would have a total niche market right there. Like immediately right off the bat, people would be like Pinteresting you, and they would be like, "Wait, what? This guy's talking about sports."
I just noticed something that the whoever did the artwork for Jay and Jack's final season behind you, Jack, really overcompensated Jay's calves.
Well, everything about Jay is overcompensated on that.
Guess who approved it?
Jay.
Of course.
Jay. I never.
Well, dude, look at the delts on Jack, though. I mean, he did you all right.
Well, to be fair, that was pretty true back then. But Jay never looked like this.
Ever.
Nope.
Am I right?
Nope.
Jack, you look like you could be in like some Walmart, like about ready to start shit.
I was the original Karen.
So,
Anyway.
Miami Mike says at Pot Crack Jack is for his drug dealing side hustle.
There you go.
You got to make money.
You got to hustle.
Will
man.
says, Jack, I tried. I know people at Facebook that could help, but I've asked everyone I know, and they don't have any contacts at Twitter. I'm gonna find a number and call them.
Hello, this is Twitter. How may I help you?
Again,
This is Crackpot Jack.
Oh, where can I direct your phone call?
Oh, I'm sorry. We banned your phone calls. You're a menace to society.
The Taliban.
I have
has a Twitter account.
Twitter. Yes.
And
Again.
you've never killed a woman, at least from my experience.
He only threatens.
Not that I can remember. I've never even threatened one. Well, maybe my sisters, but that was years ago when I was a kid. No, it's all bullshit.
Huh.
I have people now sending me things on Instagram, Facebook. What happened to your Twitter account? I tell them, they go, that's just bullshit. I go, I know. What do you want me to do?
Do they go ahead and follow you? Because you should use that as like hey, well, follow me at this.
Well, no, I've been telling them I'm over here on this Twitter account. So
you just hate losing that other.
It's principle.
It would bother me too.
It's I'm gonna not be on Twitter, but I'm gonna be on this Star Trek podcast, and then
it's a YouTube channel.
No,
it's not. It's he talks about all kinds of different TV shows. So.
Oh,
nice.
Well, we talk about all sorts of different star-related movies.
Yeah.
True.
Truth. Yeah. Well, this was a great show, kids. It was 1 in a million. Let's wrap it up.
It'd be the shortest episode in the forever if we watch
Oh,
it right now.
I just have to say, I'm just
It's just really high.
no
shortest episode since I passed out.
It's just been
True.
My first week back to teaching. So, and Monday I got kind of a rude awakening where, well, it wasn't a rude awakening, but I'm 10 minutes away from the class and I get an email from a student that's just like, does our class start on September 20th? And I'm like, no.
September 20th.
Yeah. And I'm like,
What
no.
schools start that late? Good God.
Well, so keep in mind that last year we had a late start because of quarantine and COVID. And so a lot of the class information was just transferred over as though it was updating.
Wow.
And so it basically kept it as a 12-week course as opposed to a 16-week course. And so
now your school's a super spreader school, right?
what?
A super spreader school because they're
No.
I think the question everyone.
I think like about 80, from what I understand, like 86 or 84% of IU campus is vaccinated. So
I think the question everyone.
And we also wear masks. So.
The question everyone wants answered though was the rude awakening, the realization that when you drop the towel for the first class, that COVID has not been kind to you, and you don't have that model body that you used to have.
No, that didn't.
That'd be pretty rude.
The rude awakening was 5 out of 10 of my students, or 20 of my students were there. So a quarter.
5
of
out of 20. 5
out of 20 were
Wow.
there because they had read the syllabus and they saw that it was listed as starting that day. And so,
well, did you put on nudes models? That would
No.
get people in there.
So if the syllabus said the 20th, what did those 5 people read?
So the course, so my syllabus actually had the correct date as far as August 23rd, but the course as it was entered into the system had it as September 20th. Which
so you can't be mad at
that. And even when I was looking at my faculty roster for that class, all of the main information is kind of like over here on the left side, right? Yeah, and then on the far right side is kind of where the dates were, and I just missed it. And if I'd known, so it just kind of fucked up my whole like flow of the school year. It was like, oh, and now I have to deal with this problem. So, but all in all, though,
well, how do you get contact? Do you contact the other 15 and say, hey, it's started?
Well, so as I was told through just the channels that I went to kind of say like, what do I do? They were like, because students signed up thinking that it was this, you should just keep it this. And so I was like, yeah, that's fair. And I gave those 5 students that showed up bonus points. So,
nice.
So now you're not doing it till the 20th.
I won't do it till the 20th, and I'll basically condense.
So are you not going to get paid until the 20th?
No. I still get paid for that class.
You're an evil genius. That's smart.
What are you fucking pissed about, dude? You're getting paid to do nothing.
No, because I have to like completely restructure the class, and
cry me a fucking river. I gotta stay home and redo my syllabus and and get paid to go to art installations.
I will say this much: I still have to go on those days. It would just would have been easier, even though it's just 2 hours earlier. Like I would have to work.
Is the class any longer? Is it just gonna end when it was supposed to end?
It'll end when it is supposed to. I get it. You guys are like, I have to do less work, but I have to go there anyway to set up for just class. Like I have the same exact class.
What are you setting up if there's nobody there?
Because there's another class that meets immediately right after it. Oh, okay. And it's the exact same class. So it's kind of like,
and you gave
class
them
A
the right.
and class
you gave them
those had the correct. Well, it was entered incorrectly. It was entered into the system correctly.
Oh, so it wasn't you. You didn't make the mistake.
No, it was not a fault on my part. The only thing that I messed up is I should have double checked on the far right side where like the dates of the class were listed, but I never looked there. It's like I'm looking at the class roster over here and I'm looking, over everything and just missed those simple dates. But
it happens.
Yeah, there's worse things. It's the fact that I have to drive down there anyway. I'm there. I mean, it would have kept things a lot smoother. And there is actually more work for me to do, like adjusting everything in the computer, like, all the assignments and stuff. But it's just a full week. This is also like the busiest time for the business. And so I'm just 12-hour days, just nonstop from the moment, and I enjoy my job when I can walk in and I'm like, okay, this is what we're doing today. And there's a casual pace to the day.
Right.
And I know, Chris, you work retail and you can attest to that when you're in that frenetic pace of just like nonstop until like from the moment you enter that door until the moment. And sometimes you take it home with you and then.
Nope. I've learned. It took me a while to do that, but I've learned. I fucking check it at the door. I leave it there. I can't.
I guess
I did that, and it fucking was killing me. Yeah. And I decided I got to a point. I'm like, you know what?
I think, and there's a little difference just in terms of like work scale too. I mean, like being part of Apple.
No, you can go ahead and minimize my job. It's okay.
No, I'm not trying to minimize it. Like, I mean, I'm just saying that the scale and the framework.
Just fucking Apple.
All right. Well, anyway.
No, I know what you're saying. If I wasn't here to bust your balls, what would I be here for?
I mean, know.
I hear exactly what you're saying. I mean,
there gets to be a point where I'm like, okay, I have to go home, I have to eat, and then I have to finish all of the computer stuff because usually there's all of the physical manual labor, but then there's like everything that takes place on a computer, entering in data, getting things ordered, emailing customers, like all of that bullshit. Like it just. So yeah, It's been a fucking week where I just feel like a zombie, So So that note, this was a great show.
Yeah, it is a great show.
I had a great time.
No, I hear you. When you have a flow and you have like a system in mind, and once that kind of gets thrown out of flux, it can really.
I mean, if you have a
it can mess with
pace,
you.
yeah, if you have a pace to the day, a pace to your workflow. I mean, even with the school thing, it's just like, yeah, it's a minor inconvenience, but it's just like, the flow of your life, and it just.
Yeah, and the bit about taking work home. I mean that's actually I think that's actually a significant conversation that more people need to have. Because I'll say this. As a parent, it's even more important that I don't take my work home, because this is the funny part too. I do work with a lot of people who are younger and maybe not have a family or whatever. So they look at their schedule and they say, "Oh, I'm in at 12 tomorrow. That's great." Or they say, "Hey, Skypick, you're in at 12 tomorrow. Well, what are you going to do tonight?" I'm like, "I'm going to go home.
Yeah.
I'm going to fucking cook dinner." And just because my day starts at work at 12 doesn't mean I'm not up at 6:30 anyways, being a dad. Right. So, and I came to the realization, and it was actually before my son was born, but when my daughter was younger, I would really actually I would get stressed out about a lot of things. I would bring it home. I'd freak out. And I did this a lot with my job that when I worked with Johnson & Johnson, because I didn't actually have an office. I worked out of my home. And there's a very good reason why I don't do that anymore. It's because work became everything. Right. Mm-hmm. I had a BlackBerry back at the time, and you had the BlackBerry whenever you had a pending message or an SMS back in the day or an email, you had that red flashing light in the corner of the thing. And I actually grew this psychological fucking attachment to the sound of the vibrating motor of my BlackBerry, that it was like nails on a chalkboard, or like that, how everyone has their, when you're out somewhere and you hear someone's ringtones, actually your alarm tone, and you're like, "Fuck!" Like that's what it was for me, and that drove me out of that industry, because I absolutely hated that part of having my life be consumed with my work. And my current job, I've been with this company for 11 years now, and I've had a lot of ups and downs in my career, in the careers I've had with this company, and the roles I've had, and roles that have gone away, and the change of that pace, and so forth and so on, and the ever demanding public. Right? It's hard to make that separation and go home and live your non-work life. But I remember, coming home and my daughter recognizing, because she's probably 3 or 4, my daughter recognizing that she didn't like how her dad acted when he came home from work, and it fucking killed me. Like, it absolutely killed me. And that was a turning point for me, where I even considered leaving my job, but most importantly, learned how to make the necessary adjustments to be able to work your ass off and achieve what goals you need to achieve at work, but being able to make that separation. Because for me, the most important time of my day is not at my job. My most important time of my day is with my wife and with my kids. And I've never felt that more after than going through all the shit that, I've gone through in the last, 6 years or so, that has taken the front seat of my priorities. And I will never have a job that's going to make me take away from the things that are most important. So I understand where you're coming from. And it's something that I think a lot more people need to really practice, and that is to make that separation. It's super important.
Not easy though.
Nope. Sometimes it takes that shock, and that for me, it was a shock of my daughter saying that to me out loud and fucking breaking my heart. And it was
unfortunately
an instantaneous change for me.
Fortunately, for me, I don't have a lot of times in which it's like this. So this is essentially like my Christmas. Like our Christmas time, our December, it's not like this. And that's usually when I see Chris just like, oh, fucking good, man. This is just like, because it's like just nonstop like that and you probably have it a lot worse, but it's just it's a very, during this period of time, like you were talking about, like responding to something. It's like I have this thing on my phone it'll kind of give me a signal when an order comes in. There's always this moment to like the orders where I'm like, first I'm like, ooh, this is cool. It's like, oh, there's another one. Oh, there's another one. And then it just like, at some point it becomes a title word where I'm just like, there's a fucking another one. God damn it.
But don't get me wrong. Some people are fucking wired that way though. Right.
Yeah.
So if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to start your own business, you have to accept that part of it, right? Because you Jack says don't do it, but you have to accept that.
I mean, that's the thing, is that it is
100%, and it's all situational too. So like the impact that really made me make that change was because it affected family, right? Sure. There are plenty of people out there who are grinding and are hustling and trying to make a name for themselves and do what they're going to do. As an entrepreneur or trying to start a business, you have to accept that part of it, and that's part of that career path. But and for most younger folks, it's not that big of a deal. But once you have a family and you have your priorities change, and you realize what's really the most important thing, and to some people it is their work, and to some people it's a family. But
well, some people have their work is their escape from their family.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying that's how a lot of people look at it.
Well, shit, we spend more time with the people we work with than we do our family. Yeah. And I'm sorry, but that door closes.
I worked with my wife. I worked with my wife for like 18 years. So
dude, good for you. I could never do that.
She says the only reason it worked is because I let it work.
Yeah.
Meaning I didn't have the ego. I didn't care. I could separate the two. She said it wouldn't have worked the other way.
I mean, my priority is this podcast.
Well, me too. That's why I try and get here on time all the time.
All the time.
Yeah. But if you're
thing is there's no random drug tests. Thank God.
Wait,
it's perfect. It's the perfect job. Like, I mean, I
need to see your COVID vaccination cards. Pronto.
Upstairs.
Mine's in my wallet. No, like saying a business. My business almost killed me. Literally, almost killed me.
You're pulling up here.
Oh, you took a scan.
Yeah. So here's a quick tip. Anyone who has an iPhone, which is a lot of fucking people,
you can get it Apple.
If you actually open up the Notes app on your phone, this is kind of a cool thing. This isn't just exclusive to the vaccination cards. It's more of a feature of the phone. If you actually create a new note and you add a photo by taking a picture, you can actually you can put a picture from your camera roll, if you're a camera roll, or from the camera directly into the note. If you do that and you scan your vaccination card, it actually automatically titles it for you and organizes it because it reads the first line of text. So that way you can have a digital version of your vaccine card.
That is fantastic because
that's a nice little hack there.
I just carry the card in my wallet in case anybody wants to know.
And then you have and then obviously you always want to have a hard copy of it too.
I was told, and mine's not counterfeit either. So
yeah,
I was told that we had to get it tattooed on our arm. So that's
nope.
Or like Ethan said, like remember Logan's Run, the little crystal.
Oh yeah. I think I saw that.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna have to start doing.
Yeah, like the little jewel in your.
Yeah, you'll put the thing on there and it'll read all your information.
Well, it's like in Demolition Man, the little thing.
Or Gattaca.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
or Gattaca.
Don't they have
or the three shells? Never forget the three shells.
Has Randy been the best he's ever been in the chat today?
It's awesome. This is like
he's the funniest he's the funniest he's ever been today.
He's really kind of like the Charlie Watts of this group.
Did I miss something? I didn't even see him.
Hey,
is that the joke? Is that
the joke? There you go.
I was like, is my chat box frozen like Nick's picture? Because it's not moving.
That's right. You're not on Facebook anymore.
Speaking of Randy, I feel like it's only fitting that we read his email at this point. So
cool.
Wait, bullshit. He sent an email. He's not here. I don't think we have to.
Yeah. Totally. No, you don't think he's going to listen or watch this later and be
No,
like,
I don't
the guys
think
didn't
so.
mention me until 1 hour and 4 minutes in.
It took me to do it.
Randy was just like, if Jack didn't show up, Matt would have never thought about me.
Which is true, right? Right, Matt?
No, I would have read his email and then we would have said goodnight. Okay, Randy writes in, says Bruce pondering. I'm going to really murder this. Sorry.
Bruce
pondering.
Mary!
Number one, he's got two little quippy things here. He puts, number one, Bruce isn't very good at math. I don't think anyone's heard him count past the number 4 in years. 1, 2.
I got you.
3. Number 2, Tony Danza and Bruce.
Wait, what?
Do you want me to go back to the first one?
No, I don't want you. I want to comment on it.
Okay, sure.
Now, Randy, you've had some pretty good ones. That was not one of them.
Well, it's a Bruce Springsteen because he's at the concert tonight. So.
Oh, okay. So there is context.
Right,
I mean, still not stellar.
No, but I think it was.
I retract my statement.
Number 2.
Again, if you were on Facebook, you would have known.
2.
Yeah.
Tony Danza and
Bruce.
Can I finish? Can I
No,
finish?
can't.
Sorry. Tony Danza and Bruce Springsteen walk into a bar. Who's the boss? And that's from Randy on Broadway.
Right.
Is how he signs it.
That was pretty good. Who's the boss?
I thought it was pretty. I got a little smile out of that one.
Angela was the boss.
Angela was the fucking boss, dude.
Always.
Tony Danza had no upper hand in that relationship at all.
Well, we miss you, Randy. Hope you have a good time.
Yeah, whatever.
So I'm drawing the conclusion he's seeing the Bruce Springsteen Broadway show.
Oh.
Yes.
I
think
that's awesome
because he's put Randy on Broadway. So
yeah, that was where I was drawing the conclusion from. That's awesome. I actually would love to see that. Next time.
What do you think that the musical starts off that way too? 1, 2, 3, and then they go.
Hey,
into,
Matt.
Yeah,
you should leave the jokes to Randy.
Fine.
Hey, I saw a movie. I saw a movie this week. I watched was it Netflix? Yeah, Netflix. The new Jason Momoa action thriller-ish type movie called Sweet Girl. I don't know if you guys have read or heard or even seen the movie. I'm gonna give it a very good recommendation. I think that it was. Yeah, I thought it was really, really good. I mean, Momoa's acting ability is pretty narrow, but like the. But what he does, he does it well. You know what he does really, really well. So I enjoyed watching him. I don't want to give away too much of the storyline of the movie because I didn't know anything about this movie going into it. I'm glad I didn't because the way that the movie is kind of told is really unique and awesome. So I'm not going to give away too much more of it, but it has a good amount of action. It's a lot of fun to watch. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say because it's one of those movies that you have to see before discussing it. So do check it out. You
sound like a fan of his. Have you seen Frontier?
I haven't.
I think you'd like it.
Is it good?
It's good. He doesn't play really an action hero, but he plays a larger than life guy you don't want to fuck with. It's like he's a tracker in the 1700s in Canada. It's pretty interesting. It's pretty 3 seasons.
Nice. I'll have to check it out. I guess I am a fan of Jason.
I think it's on Netflix. I think it's called Frontier.
I'll have to check it out. So, Sherry said she saw it. Is she referring to Free? The sweet girl. I'm assuming she's referring to.
I still have to watch C.
She's talking about yours. Yeah.
Yeah. The way that they tell that story is really awesome. So just do yourself a favor and watch it. And I would love to talk with anybody who wants to after the fact. I thought it was really cool.
And also, is Ted Lasso getting better?
Every goddamn episode. But I'll tell you though, the Christmas episode of Ted Lasso from this season might be one of my favorite episodes of television. Period. Like it's up there with a constant for me.
I will tell you this: that last week's episode, I thought was better than the Christmas one. I was laughing through the whole thing, and then you're cheering for it, and you're just and it has that feel. I know a lot of people are. I guess people are criticizing it, but
people are always going to.
To me, I enjoy
second season.
I love the Christmas episode, but the last week's episode, I just because one of the one character, I just love his character. And anyway,
I had to fart, I guess.
You had to fart?
Like Chris did, I guess. He just had to up and jump up and run.
Okay.
So.
Baby, I'm
kidding. You got a jersey.
Oh, thanks for describing this to me because I'm just listening right now.
So I've got my new AFC Richmond jersey.
You wanker.
Wanker, Kent.
Roy Kent, he's here, he's there, he's every fucking where. Roy Kent.
Is he not the best character?
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about this before, but he's one of the writers in the show, and he actually wasn't supposed to play the role.
No, yeah.
But he got so
and it's funny because I see him on other things too now. Like I see him.
Oh, really?
I see him appearing in like previously before he kind of made it. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, oh, he was in this. You know, I guess I'm just surprised that
he was one of the writers, and he got so like attached to like to the character he was writing for, and like he didn't want anybody to fuck it up. So he said, "You know what? I'm gonna record a demo," and sent it in, and it was like
that sounds like Kent.
Yeah. Matt Tree says season 2 Nate sucks. He kind of does, but I think that's I think they're building something up there. I think there's going to be a huge like Roy Kent and Nate Royal Rumble
because Nate is he's trying to grow. He's trying to find his place, right?
Yeah.
It happens, and he can't just be happy-go-lucky Nate forever. His character would be boring, right?
True.
It's like even though I don't really like the show, I keep watching it because it's like number 1 on Netflix, which is Manifest. You know, they got canceled.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like the guy that was her fiance before the flight disappears, who's like her partner cop. You know, in season 2, you fucking hate that guy. I mean, he's just like, I hope you get shot and die. You know,
so is this a show that we should watch?
Do not tweet that.
Yeah, I won't tweet that. Yeah. What?
Is this a show that we should watch?
Manifest? It's kind of like a half-ass Lost.
Yeah, I'll just get angry watching it.
Yeah, it's because it's okay. Like I give it like a C+. It's like if you have nothing else to watch, if you've caught up on everything on television, and you're like, I need something to watch, I'll watch Manifest. But like right now,
unless you haven't watched Breaking Bad.
Yeah, the third season just now debuted on Netflix, and I think Netflix is going to pick it up because it got canceled by whoever made it, ABC or NBC or whoever. But it's okay. It's just kind of like it's all Canadian actors. It's kind of like soap opera-ish.
And we know they suck.
Yeah, they do.
But
I was gonna ask. I figured Matt and I have watched it. I was just see if Chris and Jack have watched it. Have you guys been watching Marvel's What Ifs cartoons?
No,
I saw the first one.
I've seen the second one. Yeah. I've seen the first and the second one.
Yeah,
but I haven't seen this week.
Can I ask a question though before we go on here because Matt made a good point.
What if?
Matt made a good point, and Nick kind of just brushed by it real quick.
Oh,
if there's nothing else you can watch. And Matt said Breaking Bad. You just kept.
We've whipped that dead horse many times.
It doesn't make any sense what your logic.
So if there's nothing else for you to watch, You can watch Manifest or Breaking Bad. Either one,
something
they're
shitty
equal.
or perfect.
You know what? I'm going to continue with my path, and then when I finally get to Breaking Bad, I'm just going to shit on it nonstop.
I don't
Let's
care.
do
Piss you guys off.
It won't piss me off. I don't care.
I think listeners would love that. A Nick Pitt pick Nick or Net Breaking Bad series.
Special Jay and Jack limited production of I'm trying to think of a clever name for the show. It would be like Breaking Nickernet.
Breaking Nickernet. Like it.
Yeah. Or Nickernet Bad.
That just sounds like Nickernet Bad, me good.
Do we lose him or did he leave on purpose?
I don't know.
I turned the camera off because I wanted to see if it made my internet faster.
Oh,
so far it seems pretty good.
You do sound faster. No, but I just wanted to point that out because Matt threw that out there, and you were quick to just kind of skirt by it there, Nick. But go ahead.
I like that Nick has changed his name to the New Jack City.
Wasn't that with what's his name? David New Jack City. Wasn't that what's it? The singer, Rolling Stones, Mick Jagger, right?
Well,
that's Free Jack.
Free Jack.
New Jack City was with
Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes and Chris Rock, I think.
Okay.
Chris Rock was in it?
I'm not, maybe not. I knew it was Wesley Snipes.
That was Carl Weathers.
It's Carl Weathers. Yeah.
So Nick, you were about to talk about What If, what if?
Everybody just turned the cameras off now.
This is in solidarity with Nick. You know, it's like
here.
We're bringing Talk Shoe back.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Wait,
I refuse.
Should Matt be stoned? Oh, wait, he is.
So since only Matt and I have seen the first 2 episodes, we'll just talk about the first one. It's good. I've enjoyed it. The first one is if Peggy had become, had gotten Captain America's serum instead of Captain America, and I really enjoyed it. Aside from Red Skull going out like a little bitch, I thought it was good.
Right. Red Skull got shafted in this universe.
Yeah. The second one is good just because Chadwick Boseman does the voice. And,
really?
Yeah, and so you know that he's gone, and so you can't help but hear his voice doing this character, and you're like, you're just so solemn watching it that you're just like, I hate.
Wait, was it actually him recording?
It's actually him. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really crazy because at the end,
Wait, Jack, did you just ask how they manage that? The fuck? I'm not gonna brush that one like Nick brushed the Breaking Bad under the carpet, dude. Really?
I think someone had to ask him. You never know; it can be computer animated. You don't generate it. You don't.
That was my question, but of course, he recorded it a while ago, Jack.
I'm just asking the question.
I liked the second one, although I fell asleep.
You loved it that much? Wow.
Well, look, I just at night I start to watch something and I immediately I'm out. I'm just my body's exhausted. So I put on Curb Your Enthusiasm the other day. I was like, I'll just watch an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm because I like the episode Meet the Blacks. And I like that season. And so I was just like, I'll watch that. And then I'm like out like a light and I wake up and it's 2:30.
You got drool coming down your mouth.
Did y'all hear that news about what's his name? Was it Murdoch or whoever it was? I think it is Murdoch. It's actually they actually got where what's his name? The guy that does Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Larry David.
Larry David. There was an actual confrontation between Larry David and Robert Murdoch out in public, or was it Robert? Who is it?
It's not Murdoch. It's
come on, Bernie Madoff.
Bernie. No.
Ponzi guy.
That'd be a reach too.
It's somebody like with money, and basically it was almost like a
Rupert
real-time,
Murdoch.
No. Oh God.
It's somebody like that, but basically it was almost a real-time, true Curb Your Enthusiasm episode. Whereas then, like, it was just a confrontation of like, we're no longer friends. Fuck you,
Alan Dershowitz.
Dershowitz, yeah,
The lawyer.
because like he was giving money to the Republican Party or something like that. And it was one of those like, we can't be friends, we can't be seen together. It's like, why? What's up with this? Like, you know, I just thought it was funny. Yeah,
It's either Alan Dershowitz or it's Wesley Snipes. I can't remember.
It was Wesley Snipes, yeah.
Always bet on black. Always pay the IRS.
Pay the IRS. Pay your taxes. So it was Bernie Madoff.
Yeah.
What did he make off with?
Everybody's money.
What's he
Everybody's
doing?
money.
A lot of people's money. Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad.
Your dad? Really?
Yeah, my dad had stock. He got screwed over by him.
Wow.
Oh.
I mean, it wasn't a lot, but
Well, still. Well, you
I mean,
were touched by it. You were.
I was. I still have the stock certificate.
Oh, you know what? It's probably worth a Dave Matthews Band ticket.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know. Did you see Dave Matthews Band? Is that?
He's going to see Dave Matthews.
I did.
George.
I did see them on Friday, and then I'm going to
why
see them again.
Why you banned someone?
Yeah, why am I banned?
I don't, because you partied too hard, man.
What was the solar wind thing?
Apparently, you're partying too hard. You can't even remember a conversation we had half an hour ago.
Dude, I think, there's something really lovable about just like the non-video Nick, like the blur, because it like expands every time he talks.
I think he took off all his clothes.
It's Nick's like a little virtual presence. There he is.
Oh. I turn it back on. Fine.
Oh, I did call 911, Matt. So my beef, the DMB didn't have any beef with me. The Foxborough police did, however.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you had to be I Jack.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go back and listen to the song at the beginning. It was the best one yet.
I bet it was his best one yet, but I don't want to go back and listen.
So you asked what the solar thing was. I also. You asked about solar winds, so I did go on about a 15-minute diatribe, like I do normally, about the fact that I'm getting solar installed in my house. I pulled the trigger on that, and I'm making it happen. So, but yeah, we won't go back into it. It was a long way.
Well, I said before I wanted to do that.
Appreciate it,
my wife kept saying no. Well, now I said, see, we could have got solar. She bitches about her bill all the time, and I go,
I have her listen to the beginning of the episode. I kind of go into it with my own personal setup.
No. Now she's for it. She was against it 4 or 5. I was going to do it myself. I was going to put everything in myself.
No, don't do that.
I had someone I knew that could do the other part. I was going to put the panels up.
This is a recipe for a shit show, Jack. Just pay someone to do it the right way.
I'm not doing it. No, not. This is before 4 years ago.
Oh.
Yeah, I wonder if Sherry or Will, if Will's still in the chat, can answer this about Tennessee, because I remember when I still lived there, it was almost impossible to get solar panel in Tennessee because the whole state of Tennessee is powered by hydroelectric, which is TVA, which is a federal company. And they don't want competition with that system. So they basically, if you get solar, you were paying out the ass for it.
Isn't Tennessee like off the grid?
I mean,
I feel like they're chopping wood and putting it in a fireplace.
Shut your mouth, Jack. Yeah, but like basically the whole state of Tennessee and northern Alabama is all TVA, and so like, but your electricity bill is cheap as shit. At least mine was. Every house I lived in, my electricity bill was no higher than $4.
Well, the problem is you've lived in California so everything is going to.
Well, that's true. Yeah, my electric bill in California wasn't. I mean, for my little apartment, it was high considering, but it was usually like $96 a month, and that's just for a little 800 square foot apartment. So yeah, it was that high.
That's not bad.
Yeah, mine's like 183, but I do like the budget plans. They just take the average of the 12 months, and I just pay the same price every month, so it doesn't fluctuate.
Sherry lives in North Carolina now.
Oh, okay.
Are we all? If you've lived in the South, do we all agree that we should just eliminate August and September, and maybe some of July?
September's not so. Well, yeah, early September's pretty.
I just can't take the weather anymore. It just sucks.
What's interesting to me about this house, now that I've been here just under a week. What's going on? You laughing at my internet again?
No, I'm laughing at the chat.
Man, from Sled. Yes.
See, they can't really change my name, so
it's true. Is that like so? In Colorado, air conditioners are not common. They can call swamp cooler, and what it does is it routes your water into this machine that like kind of humidifies your house to cool it down because it doesn't really get that hot here. But the thing about it is that because it's going through the water, it kind of makes your house humid, and is
it's the best part of the story.
Not been used to in a very long time. Did I break up?
You froze up
just a little bit, but we got it perfect.
This is
why you break bad.
Fine.
Next year I'm going to insulate my garage where the sun beats down on it and the garage door. I've been watching on YouTube. I'm just one side because since they took away all those trees to build those condos, the sun from the time it gets up 6 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night, that sun is just beating. But now the solar panels that would have been only like 60% effective are now probably 400% effective because the sun is just beating down on the house.
Speaking of, like, Will just talked about how August, yes, we should ban that month. That September has college football. Speaking of that, I did the whole Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus package when it came out, like same as Matt did, I know. And I just canceled it because I want to now do Hulu Live package, Hulu Live with Disney Plus, with ESPN Plus and all that. But it won't, you would think you would just be able to hit a button and say like, oh, I want to add package now. No, you have to cancel it and then wait for that subscription to run out before you add in all the other shit. And I'm like, what the fuck, man?
Oh.
I wouldn't get anything till you fix your internet.
Solid point, Jack. Solid point.
I mean, but what can you do? Like he can't run. You'd have to run. What could you do?
They give him the special access to the VHS collection, where it's like 380i.
Can't you get like those boxes or something that go through your house? And
isn't there like a solar panel thing that can radiate the Wi-Fi into your house?
I have 3 routers in the house. It's like to help me. You get the signal everywhere.
Not going to make a damn bit of a difference.
I know it doesn't make a difference, but yeah.
But it makes you feel better.
Can't you get something outside, like a giant antenna or something? I mean,
I do have a giant antenna. The thing is that it's just because where I'm at, all I can get right now is broadband.
And bragging like that, I have a.
He has to wait for other neighbors.
Yeah, I just have to wait for the city to put in the fiber in this neighborhood, which it's going to be within 1 year. So eventually, I will have good internet again. But
we're going to be dealing with this shit for a year.
Maybe.
That's why we should do Breaking Bad.
How do you have? How's your cell phone connection at your house?
It's great because I'm on top of the hill, so like I hit all the
you
towers.
Actually could probably just use your phone as a hotspot and get better connection. We'll try it out. Or call your cell phone carrier and see if they offer like an in-home internet. Like, who's your carrier?
Right now I only got 2 bars, but I'll try something else next podcast see if it works.
I can if you want to watch college football, I can give you a link where you can watch college football, any game you want.
Well, he doesn't have the internet to stream it.
I know, I get it, but I don't pay for it.
Well, so we got some sympathy over here in the chat. So Will says, "I know your trouble. I can't do the bundle because my ESPN Plus is connected to my 15-year-old fantasy football league, and Disney keeps saying that I can't bundle because my email already exists on ESPN." See, that's amazing. So I bought the package through Disney, not through Disney Plus, not through Hulu. And so once I canceled it, every time I go to Hulu now to sign up for all the other stuff, they're like, "Oh, you have to wait until this subscription is done with Disney." And I'm like, God damn it.
So just set up a new email.
Yeah, I guess I could do that.
Yeah. Like you can do it literally right now. Like just create a new email address.
I did that with
it's
HBO.
Not too much of a priority. It's just one of those things I thought was just silly. I was like, why is this so silly? Like,
especially since you're from a different place, right?
Different place.
Different. Your what's
it's
your
called
LP
the
address.
South.
Your LP address is a different address.
IP address.
IP.
But no, but the subscription is still the same. It's all through your email and all that.
No, but it's like we say, just change your email.
Yeah, it's true. But I don't want to use that one. But yeah. I don't want to use nick69 dot whatever.
That's what I was wondering. Like triple X Nick
69. Yeah.
I just go on to Gmail and create a second email account.
Yeah, and Sherry says my audio comes through just fine, but it's the video freezing.
For us, your audio definitely broke off.
Yeah, you
a lot.
Okay.
When your video freezes, you freeze.
Yeah.
For listeners in the chat, what would Nick's alternate email sex themed be? So go ahead, give us your feedback, and that'll be the episode.
Big antenna. Now he disappeared.
Yeah.
I think it would be Matt's
so-
trying to distract the goat jokes at gmail.com.
Next episode, I'll try this, which is a little.
Yeah, I got a hotspot. Oh, there he
creates
goes again.
It's a really good hotspot based off cell data.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
So hot.
I'll try this one.
Broke up the signal.
It's hot.
No, I haven't used it yet. Kiss my ass.
Oh.
I was recently watching that episode of The
Hopefully you heard
Office
that.
where
Where he goes
Nick
Michael Scott.
no, Jim and Pam are on their honeymoon and they don't want to be bothered, and so Michael Scott's calling them, and he's trying to get an answer from Jim on how to do something, and Jim just keeps cutting out and keeps saying, and then you'll be fine. Just do the, and then you'll be fine.
That's where Kevin answers. He sits at his desk and answers the phone in the credit card company.
Yep, and he gets his credit cards canceled. And then later on, they're calling, and Pam's just like, "Look, we're trying to figure out our credit cards got canceled."
So Matt in the chat has a winning suggestion for Nick's new email address is can't Nick flicks and chill at AOL.com.
Oh man, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I like that.
That's
It's probably taken.
Yeah, I was thinking something along the I was trying to be more naughty, like.
No, I'm trying to be more naughty and
Well, whatever the triple X stuff.
I'm pretty racy, man. I'm pretty
I know a
naughty.
guy who likes sheep at gmail.com.
We're not using that one.
Well, I mean, you're clearly trying to distract and create a new line of inappropriate jokes towards Nick. So I'm going to make sure that the sheep are here to stay.
Also,
so back it up, okay?
Did you ever watch the show Baba Black Sheep?
It was on. Was that on when I was? Yeah, I think I was being born. So
there's also another.
There's
there's also another comment that Matt did not select to pop up in view. That's one from John, the UPS guy, saying it was Sherry Lewis. Because wasn't that about the sheep as well?
What is Randy doing here? Come on. It's too late. Why are you up? You're supposed to be with the boss.
Randy, I already grabbed that email address.
Oh, boy. Well, on that
comes in fucking guns blazing.
Who's the boss?
No, there's that episode of Parks and Rec where Larry leaves, and then all of a sudden, like, everybody in the office is scared because they're going to be the next, Gary or Jerry. No, they call him Jerry, and then his name keeps changing. But Jerry.
I thought his name is Jerry.
It's originally Gary, but they call him Jerry, and then eventually it changes to
but he's married to Christy Brinkley,
right?
So
there's an episode where he retires
wins, right?
and he leaves, but everybody's kind of looking at each other like who's going to be the next, Jerry that they're going to just pick on. And Tom is trying to avoid it because he already he does some stupid mistake and they just jump on him. And I feel like that every week with you guys. So thanks.
You're welcome.
I watched that episode and I was like, that's me.
We used to go to Vegas and do the same thing. You never want to be that guy that made that first mistake. Because you got trashed.
It's your weekend.
You just got trashed, so I would just be quiet until someone fucked up.
That guy, you see what he did? Man.
Is Nick frozen? No, he blinked.
No, I'm here.
He was
He's
just
not
waiting for us to
entertained.
say.
Are you just pissed that Randy took your email? Now you got to pay. Now you got to pay for it.
I am. I'm just experimenting with some stuff.
With the internet? That can lead to some dangerous areas.
Sure.
Are you? What kind of experimentation? Like conspiracy theories,
But you
Reddit?
know, well, you got
Dark
Matt's getting naughty. How do you find the dark net?
The dark net. It's just right around the corner from the light.
It's
net.
easier than you think.
Always people go, "Hey, it's on the dark net." I go, "Well, where's that at?" I go, "I can't find it."
I can help you get off Twitter, but I gotta go on the dark net. Is that what was there a conversation or a DM that went this way for you, Jack? Somebody's offering you to get you.
No. I just
Okay.
I always hear that term, and I just go.
Jack's like, I can't see during the day. I can't see at night
Exactly.
either.
How do you make the brightness go up? God damn it!
Yeah, like when you go on the dark web, do you automatically go into like dark mode on your computer? Is that like a preset, preference? You are now entering the. It's like when you go into that, we all know that that feature of Chrome where you go incognito, and it just changes everything to some creepy little
Right.
dark theme.
Oh yeah.
When you watch porn.
What? Incognito. Correctamundo.
Richie Incognito.
That's your name.
No,
On the dark net.
that's that. Remember the offensive lineman that was on the Dolphins and got kicked off for bullying?
Oh really?
Now he plays for the Raiders.
Ray Finkel.
No, Richie Incognito.
Richie Incognito, which it really sounds like a made up name. What is he incognito of?
I don't know.
Richie?
Being a jerk. He's the one that got mad one time, and I think it was a Ferrari. He started smashing up his car.
Wow. That's no way to treat a Ferrari.
What you get done is taking my car, smash it up, and just
It's
gave
not
me
very
the Ferrari.
incognito. I'll tell you that much.
No. He had some issues.
Huh. Well, just trying to come up with a name for Joanne, and then we can end this show. What do you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ban Joanne. It rhymes.
No ban Joanne.
Whoa.
No
Well,
banjo. That's even better.
That even sounds like a banjo thing.
See, it took Jack and I 3 seconds.
We were spitballing. Matt's been over there for a half hour. Can't get a name for this. Can't get a name. Can't do it. Can't get a name. That won't work.
If that's the best one of the group, that's going to be your fuck up for tonight.
And you guys are going to remember it on the next episode.
For the next episode.
Really?
Well, I meant to say this
We
earlier,
don't
but this
remember
has been episode 138. Not that it makes any difference.
1138.
That's it.
138.
It seems like more, doesn't it?
Well, it doesn't include all of Married Man. This is just RCAD.
No, I know, but it just seems like there's because that's it doesn't seem like a lot.
138 episodes.
We only been doing this
Not
like
including
3
the
years.
bonus episodes, so there's basically 140.
It just seems like we've been doing this longer than 3 years.
We
Well,
have.
after 3.5 years ago was Married Man.
Yeah.
That's true.
We,
I mean, if
But we didn't go. How long did we go with Married Man?
well, we
A while.
Chris and I and Tim started guest hosting in April 2016.
16?
And 2016. So 5 years.
Huh. All right.
All right.
5 years.
And then we did our first all three hosts at one time in August 2016 because Jay and Jack were doing something. So we said, let's just all three do it. And then after that's when we all started doing it all together. And then I forget when we actually officially switched to Ramblecast instead of Married Man.
I think I said you guys want to switch because it was
Well, we thought like maybe we'd have more listeners being PG versus R.
No, I think it was, if I recall, I think we wanted to have a more, a more inclusive name.
right.
Because it was kind of like the undertones of the Married Man podcast sounds like something that it would be only tailored or specifically tailored for male listeners. When our show has never been like that, so it's more of a.
But it's funny I think the Married Man had more women listeners than men.
Did it really?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Jeopardy's on 6:30. Jeopardy on 6:30.
why Well, how would you know? Like,
Well, because the
I get my underwear from
feeds
Kmart.
provide demographics.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
And
so
then
like
a lot-
you
and a
do
lot
get
of-
demographics from that
And a lot of
information.
the feedback, I mean, just going by feedback and people, that would make comments on my Twitter account and stuff like that. So I can't go back and look it up, but
Oh, well, that was a really great trip down memory lane there, Nick.
It was.
I mean, I just remember stuff. Sorry.
I think the first episode I appeared
drink
on
and
was,
remember things.
was
right.
Fire Farts, maybe something like that.
I remember Fire Farts.
Yeah, I think that was the first episode that I just came on for one episode, and then
I remember Nick's dating disasters.
And there was still like one story, because what we did with those was like whenever we lost the trivia or whatever came in last.
That's
had
right.
to
You
tell
give an embarrassing
you had to
story.
tell me the embarrassing
That's
story.
right.
And there was one I never told because I kept holding.
Oh no, not yet, not now. This is the
on.
worst time for this to
I don't
happen.
think you guys
Come
ever
back,
heard-
internet.
heard
There he is. He's back. Okay. What was that, Nick?
Oh.
They're
I
expecting
think
you
you
to
guys
tell
are-
us.
I said there was one story I never told, and then I think you guys already know.
That's when
the
you
story,
froze.
though. Yeah. About when I went on a date with the girl I was dating.
Oh, fuck.
at
No.
the Spanish restaurant.
This is
He had too much to
planned.
do.
This is fucking planned.
Yeah, he's fucking with the internet on the other side.
He's hitting a little button saying, "I can't." This is the part where I'm not gonna let them hear. I'm gonna say,
I know you guys know the story.
And then it'll be good.
"Cause it's a fucking doozy."
John, why do you want the Padres to lose? They're playing the Dodgers.
And then there was shit all over me.
Nick Freeze. I like it.
Wasn't he getting a blowjob with the
sister or brother?
The sister or brother was sitting next to him or something like that. Right, Nick?
Yeah, that was when I was still living in Knoxville though, because I
don't think he ever told that one on the air, Jack.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
That was like
Yeah.
that was I think like the third or fourth embarrassing story where
That was unbelievable.
because that one was
Forget I said anything.
because that story I remember that one very very distinctly. Because I was
I would
bartending
think.
I was bartending at
Sure, this
the
story
tap
comes up.
room, which is no longer a bar in Knoxville anymore. And like I remember setting up the story because like that's the way it is when you're a bartender, which Chris knows. I think Chris was a bartender at some point too. Is that when closing time comes, there's always a handful of people that just do not want to go.
The
And
train wrecks.
it's the train wrecks, yeah. And like those girls, especially if they're recently broken up or they're just there all the time, they're just wanting to take anything with a pulse home. And that's what happened is that, she was like, take me back. I was like, sure, and I was all for it. And we get back and so for anyone who wants to go back 3-4 years ago, to listen to that story. But basically I get back to her place.
It's a good one. It's a good
yeah.
story.
We start getting rowdy on the couch and then her brother, Randy.
They were
we're gonna call
wrestling, man.
it. Yeah, we were wrestling. Yeah.
Wrestling.
And her brother was her roommate who happened to walk out and sit down next to me while I'm in my birthday suit. Just kind of like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, well, you guys are comfortable with each other.
Did he come out playing a banjo?
No.
Ding, 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 ding.
I'll tell the other story though, the one that's linked to
I
you.
do. Miami Mike has a good name for you. Superhero name, Nick Freeze.
So you're
Well,
going to tell us
anyways.
that other story?
Do you want me to tell you that story? All right. This is a longer one.
Why not?
This was
three married men living vicariously through this story right now.
well, this is a nightmare story because the whole point of these stories was
All the better.
they were embarrassing stories. So this was 2015. Yeah. So Jack met her, the girl I was dating. I met her at Comic-Con in 2014.
Oh yeah.
And then, he met her, I think, at the bowling rink in 2015. Nice. So we had kind of had like a hiccup in December of 2014 and we broke up, but we had been talking about going to this Spanish restaurant in Claremont, not Claremont, San Diego, but Claremont town in Inland Empire of California. And I just reached out to her in January 2015 and said, "Hey, let's go to that Spanish restaurant." She's like, "Oh, sure, let's go." So it's a little bitty place. We get there. There's no seating except for at the bar. So we sit in these high bar stool chairs at the bar. And she goes, "Do you know what sangria is?" I said, "Yeah, it's like rum and wine. It's got all this fruit and shit floating in it." She's like, "I kind of want to try it. Like, I'm going to drink that." And I was like, "Okay." So I get a couple beers and we have a bunch of tapas. And she drinks one little pint thing of sangria herself. And then after I'm done with my second beer, she goes, "Hey, like, are you going to get another beer?" And I say, "No, I can." It's like, she's like, "Well, I kind of want to get more sangria, but I don't want to drink the whole thing again. Like, will you just get that and split it with me?" I'm like, "Sure, no problem." So she get another pint, and then why am I the only one on screen? It's just weird.
You just noticed this?
No, but like it's just weird, just me looking at this black thing instead of seeing you guys' faces. Anyway, so
We'll read the name.
I know,
Anonymous male dater.
So anyway, so she looks at me and she goes, "Do you know where the bathroom is in this place?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's one of those that's outside. You have to get the key and go outside." And I was like, "Oh, let me get the key for you."
That's a fine restaurant.
It actually was a good restaurant, but so I go and I get the key. I put it down the counter on the bar table for us, and then she all of a sudden lays her down on my shoulder.
Wait, you broke up?
And I'm thinking, like, because like I said, at this point we're still broke up. We were broke up. But she puts her head on my shoulder. Oh, I broke up. Sorry. So I put the key down on the counter, and then she like leans to my side and puts her need a sensual picture. So she puts her head on my shoulder, and I'm thinking, oh, okay. So now she's feeling comfortable with me. Like maybe we're gonna like start dating again. And she's just being warm. But then her laying on my shoulder goes on way too long, and I look down at her, and she's completely passed the fuck out on me. And then I start moving my arm that she's leaning on, like trying to like wake her up. And I finally do it so hard that her body flings the other way across the bar stool to where I'm like, "Oh, fuck." And I kick out my bar stool to catch her as she's falling off her bar stool. And she's a big, not a big girl, but she's a tall girl. She was probably 5'10". And I catch her, and she's just completely dead weight. And I'm holding her there while everyone in the restaurant is all looking at me holding this lifeless girl in my arms. And I'm dragging exactly. And so I'm dragging her across the floor to try to sit her in a regular chair.
Did you have some duct tape with you and some bags? And
yeah, I mean, Bill Cosby was my mentor. So I'm dragging her to a regular chair, and all of a sudden I realize the floor is slippery, and I slip and fall. And so I'm laying on the floor. She's laying on top of me on the restaurant floor.
How convenient.
Yeah. And I'm soaking wet. And I go, "Why am I fucking wet?" And then I realize she had asked me for the bathroom key.
Oh.
So she, as she was passed out,
shit,
relieved herself on top of me as I'm dragging her across the floor.
Can I tell you something, Nick? That's what love's all about.
It is. That's what it's all about, man.
That's awful.
I'm not even done.
Oh, God.
So I get her up on the chair. I start smacking her in the face very gently, just kind of like, "Please wake up. Please wake the fuck up." You know,
don't tweet that.
She starts to come to, and she looks at me and she's like, "What happened? What happened?" I'm like, "You passed out." And she's like, Why am I all wet? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Why am I all wet? And I said, "Oh, well, I was being nice." I was like, "You knocked over a pitcher of water as you fell off the bar."
Pitcher of water, it smells like piss.
Matt, you better delete your search history after tonight's episode, because it could really come back to haunt you.
This is on the RCAD.
So
it's not really mine.
We're gonna get banned from fucking Gmail.
I didn't show anything that wrong.
Great. Something else I'll be banned from. Great.
No, but you had to type in and search for all of those photos.
Exactly. Woman passed out on the floor. Woman pisses herself. Like,
How to get away with murder.
Yeah. So
to cover up.
She comes to, and she's. I explained to her why she's wet and being nice, and all of a sudden she then throws her hand. I'll turn my camera back on. She throws her hand with this over her face because she's dry heaving.
Oh.
And I see basically the vomit oozing through her fingers.
I'm not searching this.
Yeah.
I'm not searching this.
Come on, Matt. There's got to be something you can find on this.
And I'm like, oh my God. So I grab the trash can next to the bar, fling it in front of her.
2 girls, 1 Nick.
Yeah. And like I said, like the whole time, this is a small restaurant. The whole time, everyone is looking at me and this girl like, what the fuck is going on?
No one had iPhones out?
I don't know. I don't know. It happened so quickly. But anyway, so
you're dragging her.
The waitress at this point comes up to me and she's like, "Oh my God, like what's wrong with her?" I was like, "She just had too much sangria. Like she'll be fine." I was like, "Can you watch her for a second?" And I look at her like, "Hey,
why leave?"
Yeah, no, like, well, that's what I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna run to the restroom." I give the waitress my credit card. I was like, "Hey, here, take care of the bills, like pay for it all. I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick, wash up, and then we're gonna go home." And she's like, "Okay, fine." So I go out, do all that. I come back in. The waitress, the bartender, the manager, everyone that works there is around girlfriend.
No, gotta go back.
We got to go back. You cut out.
Back. No, sorry.
Everybody at the bar was on fire.
What'd you hear?
What?
What'd you hear? Yeah, so everyone at the bar, the bartender, the waitress, the owner, everyone that's working that night is
the candlestick maker.
Yeah, like they're all surrounded my girlfriend sitting in this chair.
Did he hurt you?
All of a sudden I get there and they turn to look at me and they go, "What did you give her?"
Oh.
Did it break up again?
No.
Yeah. And so all of a sudden I am Bill Cosby. I am a date rapist because apparently I have roofied my girlfriend. And then it turns into an episode of Cops to where I have my girlfriend going, "He's a good guy. He would never do anything." And I'm just like, "Oh fuck!
Don't help me.
Get me out of here. I need to leave."
Well, actually, you got to give credit to the bar. At least, at least they were trying to protect her if she needed protection.
That's crazy.
So, but I mean, if it wasn't for her doing this, though, we would have left. Because like they were adamant that I had done something to her. And so I get up, they give me my credit cards back. We get in the car, and like a lot of like my truck has those Chevy leather seats, and of course she's peed and puked all over herself. So like the whole time she's sitting in that chair, she's like, like just sticking to the chair. Just things you remember. But that was the night, and then we get back to my place. She just passes out, and that's one of my.
I'm surprised after all that they let you take her.
Yeah, I was just grateful
if they were that concerned.
They were, but it was one of those moments where I was really scared.
Did you say, hey, here's my shirt. Check, see if there's any illegal drugs on there. Yeah. Because she peed on you, right?
She did pee on me.
So there'd be a trace of it, wouldn't on the shirt.
True.
And to think of all of the shit that transpired that night. The fact that you still have a fucking Twitter account.
Hey, that's not funny.
But the thing is, like, it was funny. We kept dating for another like 9 months after that.
Well, that's a good plan. 9 months.
I
Make
think-
sure that you didn't do anything.
That's true. Yeah, that night. Yeah, that's true. She was out of the safety zone.
Mike has a good point. You should have her on the podcast next week.
I haven't talked to her since we.
I thought Chris Drake made a great point. This is the longest episode of How I Met Your Mother. It's a long con, the whole podcast,
and it had a better ending.
It's true.
What?
I didn't even tell you.
I didn't watch it. I just know people complain.
Oh, okay.
What was really creepy to me?
When it gets creepier.
Well,
it gets worse.
Well, there's a little segue story within the story.
Oh,
That when I went to the bathroom, it was one of those out on the outside. It was one of those, where you have a man's, and a woman's, and there was a woman waiting. There was a woman waiting at the women's restroom door.
Is this the birds and the bees?
Wait, hold on. Women waiting what?
there's a woman waiting to get into the women's restroom, whereas I was waiting to get into the men's room. And she looks at me, and she's a total cougar. And she basically goes, "Oh, I've been watching you with your girlfriend all night. Like, that's your girlfriend, right?" And I go, "Yeah." And she goes, "I think you two are just so sweet together." And I'm like, "Have you been watching the last 5 minutes?" Like, but she like totally was hitting on me. She like grabbed my arm, my shoulder, and was like rubbing me. And I'm like, "What the fuck?"
And you said, "Hold on, do you have a drink?"
Yeah, exactly. Like, I did. That really did happen, but like, it's kind of a segue within the whole story. But it's just like,
maybe she roofied her.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that.
Like, oh, hey, I like you, and your girlfriend should come over to my place after this.
That's a fucking twist. Imagine that.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, I don't know. There's stranger things, but
you better wash the shirt. Get that DNA out of it.
He still has that. So
that was not the first time she did that to me. She did it to me one more time. Not pissed on me, but like she definitely drank too much and passed out on me. I had to carry her ass.
This was quite a twist here.
I had all kinds of stories, man, when we first started.
We were just out of them now.
I was the only one that still had stories, and so I was like, well, and
this tops the brother sitting next to you.
I was holding on to my best one for for a good time.
It's good to hold on to it.
I don't know, though. I mean, the brother sitting next to you. Well, that's a fucking twisted ass story. This one's crazy and very unfortunate.
That's when you were in Tennessee, though, right?
That was when I was in Knoxville, yeah.
Yeah,
the brother one.
It's Tennessee, South. It's really not any big deal.
Wow. Well, I mean, I do understand it was like north of Tennessee, but
yeah. Come on, am I right?
Oh my God, Nick, did you date my ex's?
Tish?
Tosh?
Tish? No.
Nick's
Tish,
like, I cannot say.
Tish the dish. Tish the dish.
This episode is so long, we actually have to put another commercial break.
Right before we close.
Closing time.
1:56:49.
Closing time. Time to read the names.
You finally get one for Joanne?
Yes, I did. I used your guys' suggestion here, and we'll work backwards.
Right. Let's see how the greater list performs.
I'm still trying to think of stories over here because, like, I dated one girl here. These aren't any like great stories compared to those, but like, she was an ultra marathon runner, and I remember like on the first date, something like it was like red flags, and like she was just talking about how like she got really attached, and I was like, don't worry, if I don't like you, I'll just run from you. And she goes, "I'd catch you."
What?
Yeah, I was like, okay.
Wow,
just funny things. Yeah, because that's funny. She's like, she runs like 70 or 80 miles a week. Like, she's super.
I don't trust anybody who does that.
I don't even drive that far.
I can't even run a mile.
Miami Mike bonus story.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of like, because I haven't dated that much since LA. I've only had 2 girlfriends.
LA.
Now you have the house.
Yeah,
that's LA.
But wait, you have bad internet. That's gonna knock you down a couple
total.
It's really gonna take a chunk out of your OnlyFans channel.
I know you have the Lego room, which is a big draw.
Not yet, but yeah.
But you gotta have good internet.
Eventually. I mean, like I said, right now that it's 9:30, it's gotten better because, like I said, like
it's 11:30 for us.
It's 11:30.
Yeah, but I'm saying like 7:30 start my time is right at peak time everyone's using it, so it's why it slows down.
So you're wanting us to record later? Is that what you're telling us?
Earlier? No.
Later or earlier?
What time do your neighbors go to sleep? We can do like 3 a.m. if that works for you.
Chris is signaling no. No compadre.
The universal symbol for no.
Miami Mike makes a good point. How about have you thought about a ballroom pit?
A ball pit room.
A ball pit room.
Ball pit room.
Very big difference.
I've outgrown that. That would be pretty cool. But
that was Warm Taffy's dream. His dream was a ball pit.
I remember he bought a bunch of them, didn't he? He transformed his hallway or something.
Yeah, well,
Where
he
there's
was going to do it up in the attic.
attic.
And he was going to put. I said, "Isn't it too hot up there?" Oh yeah, well I could put air conditioning. He never did it.
But it also sounds like just kind of a really strange use of your attic space. Like
Have you met Dale?
I also like just keep going back to Captain Kangaroo and just like all the balls just coming down. Like he just has a trap door that he just like pulls and they all just.
Well, again, I think I said at the time he was boycotted from McDonald's. You know, the little toy. Dale, that's for kids. Got to get out. Because he used to brag. I remember he used to tell stories at Halloween, and he was proud of it. He would give out the big candy bars at Halloween. I go, that doesn't look good coming from a single guy living by himself, giving kids big candy bars. He goes, why? I go, all right, let's think about this. Think about
exactly.
This. Think about it. He goes, but the kids like it. I go, all right, let's think about this. They're going home telling their parents, hey, the guy at the corner is giving away big candy bars.
And he's got a ball pit in his attic.
Yeah.
You mean that single guy with that truck?
There's a pool in his basement.
He said, do you want to see my puppy? Anyway.
Jesus. On that note, I'm pulling the ship over.
Let's get the list out. Let's see how it goes.
How do you pull the ship
First
over?
of all, send in emails to rcadcast@gmail.com. We appreciate it. If we had something more to read than just Randy. Thank you, Randy, for joining us live. I don't even know how we would compete with Bruce Springsteen. But you're here, as well as all of the other listeners that join us live. We do appreciate it. So
True.
We do.
Sherry, Mike, John, Will,
Fred,
Treast, the other Matt.
Drake was in.
Drake was here.
Drake
Mike,
was here.
I think I already said that. John, the UPS guy.
Drake was here.
Matt Creed.
All of you. If I missed your name,
Did you forget about Drake?
No, I said Drake.
Okay, I'm just wondering because I know you guys.
The other Matt.
Maybe Drake could do like barbecue tips.
And then John, your wife Kim was on here briefly just to put down Canadians, so that's always nice to see. All right, so some patrons that make this show possible, though. I would like to thank them. And first up, we have
Joanne, not banned.
I like that one. That's the best one.
That's awesome. That's your best one yet. Manifest Maggie.
What kind of paper is that?
It's like wax paper, isn't it?
That's like the biggest rolling paper I've ever seen in my life. Free Energy Ed.
These relate to things that we talked about. So
yes, we put those two things together.
Oh, you did?
Isn't this what you do every week?
Richter Really Randy.
Richter Really Randy.
Okay, these have nothing to do with what we talked about.
Can't see it.
Can't see it.
Eckhart, even better, harder.
Eckhart, even harder.
Wow.
Because I always think of the Office.
You're thinking of it being even harder.
Yeah. And
T-Rex Tack.
that was the first one. How we got to T-Rex Tack?
How many patrons have
Started off real strong.
Because
the
first one was perfect.
Well, thanks everyone for joining us, and thanks for shitting on me again this week. Tune in next week.
On you, Matt.
For episode 139. Are you kidding me?
I like Chris Drake, aka the Grill Master.
So in September, when you actually show up for class,
I'm just gonna fucking end
and you're gonna be the male model, would you please get some jeans?
I teach. I never. Why would I wear jeans if I'm modeling?
Exactly. I want you to have the snaps on the side when you get up on the platform. Where you have the jeans, and then you just rip them off like Magic Mike, and you're just like, yeah.
But also, I'll come up there and help you with the background because we'll get like a snow machine.
You're gonna,
they cut them off you at the hospital. You have the jeans at the cut down.
They're already tearaways.
You guys are awful.
We'll blow snow and we'll have like a sled there. It'll
Prestige worldwide.
Yeah,
you're all clear, kid. Now let's blow this thing.
Your nipples will be like cutting diamonds, man.
And then I'll explain how
from the snow.
Let's get a drawing of this. Okay, let's get a drawing before Matt gets hurt.
And scene.
It would have been funnier if you just ended it mid-sentence of these guys going back and forth.